Welcome to Moonfire Magic. My last video was interrupted by a phone call, and I'm not sure yet how to merge videos. So I will go ahead and just continue on kind of where I left off on the last one. So the last video, I was talking about the Fool, I talked about the Hierophant, the Lovers, and I had just finished up with the Chariot, okay? So the last thing I kind of said on the last video was that in most decks, after the Chariot comes Strength, and which would be number 8, and that Justice is number 11. Some decks, though, switch those positions, and I am one of them. So the Fool has come along, and here's the Chariot. Okay, so after discovering love and emotions and feelings, he's learning now how to take those opposing energies, heart versus head, and find kind of the middle path, find the middle ground, find the self-control, be able to harness his willpower, focus on a goal, forward movement, right? So from the Chariot, the next card for me that I use, even though it says 11, it's number 8 with me, is Justice. Okay. The reason I like Justice here is because once you've learned you made a choice in the Lovers card, and then you're learning how to have this self-control. Justice is a card that tells you that your actions have consequences. So Justice and looking up the Judgment card, these two are karma cards in the Major Arcanas. Both of these speak to what you sow, you reap. Okay, they're both karma. With Justice, this is about the consequences of the actions that you have put out. In a legal matter, when justice comes out, it's saying justice is going to be served. So if you're in a legal matter and you're on the side of good, then the outcome is going to be favorable to you. But if you are the one that has done the bad deed, justice is going to be served, and you'll have to pay for that. So whatever side you're on, justice is saying that it's going to be served, okay? Justice is all about, you can see she has the scales, and in this one her eyes are open. A lot of times in Justice, she's blindfolded. She's got the Sword of Truth here, and she's weighing everything against a feather. I don't think this has the feather in this one. Kind of looks like it. But Justice is a card about balance, and kind of weighing your thoughts and your actions to see looking at consequences. You can go back to the Justice card to see like what actions cause those consequences, and this is going to be telling you like that whatever the actions are, the consequences are gonna be just, and they're gonna come out. So I like that after the Chariot, because it's like you learn this self-control, and you're learning about yourself, and then I feel like the next step is starting to understand that every action that you do will have a consequence, whether it's short term or farther out. Okay, so that's Justice. And then after Justice, we come to the Hermit. So you can see how like these two are very yellow, and then we move into this blue. The yellow's been moved into this light, okay? So the Fool has gone through all these lessons, right? And now it's like, okay, here he is. He's learning how to discipline and goals and self-control, and then he comes to justice and maybe some justice is being dealt based on some actions, like he's facing some consequences. It's also teaching him to be mindful of future consequences. And then from all that, he comes to the Hermit. Okay, so the Hermit also kind of like the High Priest and the High Priestess. It's kind of like could be a spiritual teacher or a mentor. But the Hermit is all about taking everything you've learned on the journey so far. So, like thinking about your intuition and, do you follow it? And what you've learned from your mom, what you've learned from your mom and your dad, the things that they have taught you. What they believe, they're going to pass that on to you. Then you enter society. What does society tell you is right? What does society believes you should do? Okay, then you learn about making choices. What happens when you choose with your emotions and your heart instead of your head. Then you go through looking through my cards here, and then after you learn how to follow your heart, and then it's like, okay, well, how do I rebalance and harness that energy, right? So after all of that, you come to card 9, which is really 10 since the 0 is actually 1. You come to the Hermit. The Hermit talks about retreating, getting away from society, it's kind of like going into your cave, right? So here's this Hermit, and he's in the dark, and he's got this light. This is wisdom. This is kind of like all the wisdom, all the stuff you've kind of learned is now in this light, and he's holding it out to share with others, right? But in order to take all that you've learned and kind of harness it into this light, first you have to go inside yourself and really decide, okay, this, my mom tells me this, my dad tells me that, society's telling me this, my friends say this, my girlfriend says that. What is your truth? What do you believe? Following your intuition, what speaks true to your heart and to your mind and to your soul? That is the Hermit. It's meditating, it's retreating, it's silence, it's getting away from everything and everyone, and reflecting, inner reflection on yourself. This is another one that the answer you seek lies within you. You just have to take the time out of life to sort of to meditate on it. Okay, and then once you've figured out what your truth is, then you're able to shine that light and that wisdom for others to see. And that also, it can be a spiritual teacher for you, but you can also become that light and that spiritual teacher for someone else. So, all right, so that is, in the 2 videos I've done so far, we've gone from the Fool all the way up through the Hermit. So the first 10 cards. And I will see you on the next video.